Okay, so continuing from where we were speaking last week about letting go. And I think there was a lot of response. A lot of people wrote back to me also about this. So I'm happy to share and interact on my views, and whichever way it can help you, help me, help us. It's always so enlightening the way the things come up in these discussions and how we can use them in our daily life to enhance our life. Yes, Srishti, would you like to speak?
Yes, Auntie. So as you know, we were having a discussion last like a few days, wherein I was facing a little problem with myself, how to let go of a little confusion in my life, and you came up with a really simple thing, which appeared to be a big rock in front of me, and from that day, I actually made it in my mind that I have to follow it no matter what it is. So, like in few talks, we have talked about what letting go of means and understanding the meaning. But when it comes to actually a practicality, we are faced in a dilemma. Do we have to do something? Do we have to do some like chant some mantra? Or what does it come like organically to us? So when you gave me a little exercise to do it, I realized it that um, neither the past, neither the future awaits for us or is there in for us. We actually don't have to. Okay, I will not actually proclaim us right now. I would let you go ahead with it. But it's actually, we have to come into a space which I would really want you to talk to about it. That how do we come into that space and how we can actually let go of something that's really troubling, not me only, but I think everybody on the talk right now. So, Auntie, over to you.
Thanks, Srishti. And it is so real for her, because last week when we were doing a session, she was just so like how all of us get so frustrated that I'm just not able to let go of this. I'm just trying so much and I'm just not able to let go of this. So that's why I wanted her to, and I'm going to ask her also to prompt in between whenever she feels that. um Hi Vinita, good morning, welcome.
Good morning, everyone. So, starting from what we were discussing last week, that we have to let go of organically and naturally. And I think when I started the session last week, so I was saying कि how to do it. It doesn't come easy. So Dee was telling us, it is not that we have to do it. It is an organic way, the way the trees, they shed leaves, and it just happens because anything and everything that is not actually serving us anymore has to be off. And it's a process. So where possibly it's not something in the doing that has to come, it has to come very, very naturally to us. And most importantly, I always have been asking her and a lot of other people that we stick on to the past. To let go of the past is something doesn't come easy, whether it is a sense of regret, sense of happiness, or sense of catching on to those moments which are no more. And hence my little learning is that possibly because we are so cluttered in our thoughts, we do not let the new energies flow and the divine plan to navigate. We become our own obstacles in our life. And thank you, actually, Vee, that we are looking in for this session and extending this session because all of us are getting stuck, knowingly or unknowingly, in our past, most importantly, whether it is our relationships, whether it's the situations of the past, or something that we've had very good experience, and we still look for that experience, and hence we are not very happy at this present because the situation has passed on. So letting go doesn't come naturally to most of us. Over to you to let us know how do we go about it.
So picking up from your last statement, Vinita, when you said that letting go doesn't come so easily to us. So actually, the letting go is very easy, right? It's just this thought in our head that it's not easy. Why? Because those memories or that issue or whatever it is that we are so-called holding on to creates like a victimized state or brings up a victimized part of us where maybe life has not been fair or things are not going the way that I'm wanting to. And at a previous moment or in the past, it has been better. We've been in a higher state of mind, but right now we are holding on to something. And we also need to understand that what, like I mentioned last time, what is letting go and what benefits are we getting from holding on to things? What is it that we would want to let go? Every day we throw trash out of our homes, isn't it? 2 days, if the streets are not like, if the regular person who collects the trash does not come, what a mess it creates in the kitchen, in the home, because there's no place to throw the trash. And of course, it troubles us. And it begins to rot. There are things in the refrigerator which are no longer edible, but they're just lying there. And if we don't remove them, we see the smell coming, the fungus coming. So basically they're rotting, isn't it? So why are we holding on to things inside us which are actually rotting us, rotting our head, rotting our brain, rotting our life, isn't it? And again, I'm not going into whether that situation, that event, that memory, whatever it is in the past, is fair, unfair, justified, not justified. I'm not even going into that. The thing is that right now, there is something which I'm struggling with, and the presence of that thought, that issue, that person, that situation, whatever it is not making me feel positive, not making me feel optimally good in my life. And that is not in alignment of how my life is meant to be 24/7 into as many years as you have lived. So I need to come into alignment. And what is blocking me from coming into alignment with the joy, peace, happiness that I'm by default meant to be in is this thought, this memory, which is going on. I'm not even saying, like, see, are you inviting that thought? Just
No.
the way that you're not inviting that thought, it is going on, popping up, right? Something that you desire so strongly, you're not able to get, something that, is haunting you from the past. That thought is coming up on its own. You're not pulling and dragging that thought into you, right? In the same way, you cannot pull it out and throw it out, isn't it? So letting go is not that you can pull up that thought and throw it out because it's not tangible. So in the same way, like Srishti just mentioned, what is most important or what is one of the simplest things which I guided her that day was that let's understand that this thing which is sort of haunting you or troubling you, or the struggle it is creating because you want to let go of, firstly, ask yourself, honestly ask yourself, do you really want to let go of it? Do I really want to let go of this thought? Because sometimes we enjoy being in a victimized state. I'm saying this for everybody. It's just like how, it's a way of getting attention, isn't it? Mostly by ourselves and by people around us. So firstly, be very honest to yourself and say, yes, I really want this issue, this thought, this memory to be out of my life because it's really troubling me. It's blocking me from moving ahead. The moment you affirm with honesty in your heart that I'm ready to let go of this, I don't want this thought in my heart, then you will see how easy it will be for you to release it. But there is a part of us which wants to hook onto it, maybe just a tiny bit, which says, no, how can you do this? You are justified. You are meant to get this. This is your due in life. This is not the way it was meant to be. And that all this is again created by the mind. So firstly, really, if you want to help yourselves, be honest and say, yes, I really, really want to release these things, whether they are physically tangible things. I really want to, be fit. I want to lose weight. I want to get a better job, whatever it is. Really from your heart, affirm that you want to move ahead. And then look at it. What is it? What are the reasons that we ourselves create and that we can't move ahead? Think about them. Those reasons are some things that make you victimized from the past. I'm not well qualified for this job. I can't move ahead because, like last time some children were speaking, it was about how, things are not fair, maybe in the school, in the job situation, the atmosphere is not suitable to me. So then we latch on to these small reasons. We latch on to these small reasons. And in fact, if you all remember where Ruhi was speaking last week, and I hope you don't mind me sharing this, Rachna. Ruhi was speaking last week and she was so caught up because of her school situation. And slowly, I think after the talk and a few things that really resonated with her, in this week, within last Sunday and today, she had 2 or 3, I think 1 or 2 very good days in school. So it's how you can shift your perspective rather than to hold on and latch on to that victimized thing that I'm not being given that due attention. I'm not being able to, sort of get that respect or that love from people around me there. The moment you drop that from inside and you look at it from a different perspective, what is it that I am holding on to that I'm not able to enjoy my environment in school or in my work situation? The moment I decide to shift my perspective around that, the whole situation changes. Rachna, do share about this.
Yeah, and I saw, and Ruhi herself, she's not had a better few days in comparison to last few months in school. And she took up that small takeaway from the talk and how you guided that shift your own thought. Just think of anything. I mean, there's got to be one little thing that you're happy about or you're liking, or just bring your energy up. And I think the talk was on Sunday, and Monday she did her Reiki energy circle in the car. She did a very short tapping. She listened to the music, and both the girls, Rui and Sama, I mean, I dropped them feeling myself a very different energy from them. And she came back. She had a beautiful day. Next day, there were little ups and downs, and but she could uplift herself. And yes, it's just been amazing seeing her like that. But from that, I just have a small question. I'm really understanding this, and I'm trying to follow as much as possible. But how do we, as a mother, many times you understand, but you are holding on to certain fear because there you are very emotionally entangled as well with the child. So that detachment, and it's very easy. I mean, I do tapping and I'm doing tapping with so many of these younger kids. But when it comes to your own child, that detachment doesn't come so easily. So you are so emotionally involved that you are holding on to certain fear, which is from the past experience. And how does one let go of that fear is what I'm struggling with.
So one thing is very good. Thanks for sharing. And I want to tell you this, that when you say, how do I let go of this fear? It's not about this fear or that relationship or that job. Letting go means letting go. It cannot change in a job situation versus a child situation versus, a personal relationship situation. It is just that you're holding on to something from the past, or you're worried about something in the future. You want to hold on to this time when everything is feeling wonderful because you're really fully enjoying this right now. But what is it that creates that fear? The fear is coming of, what if tomorrow again she slumps down, or tomorrow something else happens, and that comes from your experience or her experience of the past, isn't it?
Yes, I did reflect on what you just explained, that ask yourself really, truly, genuinely and truthful from your heart, that do you want to let go of this thought? And I've done that, and I really want to. But what's kind of helped me is not your last Sunday, the Sunday before that, when you explained Tera Tujhko Arpan. And the moment that's done and you're kind of just giving it to the universe, saying that, look, beyond this, I can't do, you take care. That's helped me. But truthfully, I do want to let go of this thought, but that fear doesn't go away.
So you have to, when you say that it doesn't go away, you have to just look at the fear, because at that moment you're not in the present. Say that, okay, whatever thought, and that's exactly what I did with Srishti the other day in her session, that, okay, all of us have things that we want to let go of, isn't it? All of us may be holding on to some things which we feel are very precious because we are justified in holding on to them. But we don't understand how they are really, really draining on us, isn't it? It's that tap which is open and drip, 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 the water is leaking somewhere. And as much as we try to tighten it, there's still some element that is still open and our energies are getting drained. So if you ask yourself that, yes, I truly, truly want to let go of this, then firstly have the trust that it is happening. It is happening. And it is not that it is going to happen gradually. It is going to happen, okay, so some amount I've let go, some is still holding on to me. I don't believe that at all. You can just do it all right now, right here. Just come into that space when you hold on to something which is troubling you and think, this thing which is troubling me, is it of the past or is it of the future? Come into that space, think, okay, this thing that is troubling me, okay, she said this, he did this, they did this, whatever, or this happened in my life. When you come into that space and then you look at it and you realize that this is a thought of the past, this is an event of the past, then let's understand that it has no power. It does not exist. You are giving it that power, because the past, like I said, the best thing about the past is that it's over. So immediately drop it, because it's over. It's just not there. You are giving it the life. You're giving it the prana by thinking about it and bringing it to life. And then the fear that you mentioned about, Rachna, the fear, whenever we think of a fear, the fear is about the future. Isn't it? What if this happens again? And this fear of the future comes definitely from something that has happened in the past. So let's just come into a space where any thought that is crossing me at this moment is not from the past or the future, because neither of them exist. And we know that very well, isn't it? If we carry that thought from the past into my present, holding on to it, then definitely it will lead me into the future. But if I drop it there only, that it's past, it's over, why would I go there? And then I come into the present where there's absolutely nothing. Isn't it? So catch yourself. The moment the thought that is troubling you is going across your mind, pause and think, is this of the past? Is this of the future? If it is of the past or the future, it has no place in my energy at all. And then just close your eyes and then just be. That's why we say, don't try to let go, just let be. But if we pull that from the past and we are going on saying, I want to let go, but I'm going on calling it more and more towards me, then how can I let go? Isn't it? But there's that small little part of me which says, no, I need to latch onto this because this is my identity. This happened with me. Right? I'm not, how will I be justified or how will I be answerable to myself if I let go of this? Then, of course, you're inviting it in. And as much as you were saying, yes, of course, I want to let go of it, a part of me doesn't want to let go of it. For whatever reasons. Why do we have fear? Fear is only to make ourselves feel safe for the day ahead, isn't it? Or for life ahead. Let me be careful today. Isn't it? Fear is in a way creating a situation where we have to be on guard because something wrong could happen. So how am I letting go? I'm in fact pulling that thing into the future also. Something which is dead and over and out, I'm giving it life. Does it make sense? Hi, Rajesh. Good to see you here.
Hi, Sujata. Hi,
Hi.
everyone. Hi. How are you doing?
Very good, very good. Good to see you here.
Thank you. Amita sent me a link. I said, this is for me.
Okay.
So I have a question, Hadi.
Sure.
Most of the time, our behavior or is also about conditioning that we get into. It's like uh, you've had that situation or nearest to that situation when you come from the past, one starts acting also like that, even whether we are hitting that block or not. So it's possibly the neurons or that whatever we say that it happens. So to cut that across right there is something which I think it's a matter of practice. And in a situation which is yet to come, we already imagine ourselves there. And then our behavior also changes.
So those are the patterns, isn't it? That's the conditioning, the word that you use, the conditioning or the patterned way of responding, giving the responses in that old patterned way, and really not taking that pause. So the biggest thing, like you mentioned, and what I've been enforcing every week is being in that space of awareness. Isn't it being in that space of awareness that does this problem really exist? Or is it just something that always comes up like that and I just respond in that way? Isn't it? But if I take that pause, if I take those 3 breaths of awareness, anything to just come into the present moment, I may need to tackle a problem or a situation or an argument or an issue, but I will be able to approach it from the present rather than bringing in memories from the past, because then I'm already calling that in. I'm already giving it to the universe that if this happens, this is how it is meant to be. This is the kind of response that is meant to be coming from me. So I'm already carrying it with me into the present. But if I come into the present, dropping the past and the future and attending to that situation from the present and not, carrying those things from the past, then I will approach it in a very different way. So to come into that awareness is very important. And if it is something that I want to let go of, in fact, today morning only I was talking to somebody and she was saying that somebody had told her that you are uneducated and you are, not good for anything. And like elderly lady, her kids are also married and all. So I said, you don't need to be carrying these, you don't need to be believing in it. And she said, it hurts the most when it comes from someone close to you. I said, yeah, but you're giving it that power by believing in his or her words. Right? So you have to understand that if you are carrying that thing from the past, that I am, like from childhood, I've been told, or since I got married many years back, I've been told that I'm not well educated or I'm not, good enough in terms of my educational qualification. And I'm carrying that thing, that imprint with me. Then of course I'll hear this more and more from people. This is just an example, but it can be so many other things. So first you come into a state of believing that, okay, I did my best. I mean, I was educated to the level that I needed to be educated. Now, like I'm nearly at the, um, 60 or odd years old. Now I don't need to think of all that. If that had to happen, it had to happen then. But I don't need to be carrying that pain with me, that anybody who says anything scratches that wound. It's only because I'm not feeling good enough. Then whether it is coming to me through, somebody telling me that I'm not well educated, or that I'm not good looking, or I'm not fit for something, then it'll hurt me. But if I don't carry that belief with me, then I just understand that that person is just giving me what he or she is carrying inside. They are angry, they are upset about something, and they just hit you at that point when they know that this is your trigger point. So you have to grow out of that trigger, isn't it? Because first her parents kept telling her, her father kept telling her that you can't study because you're not getting good results. Then she got married, and then her husband was like pointing these things out to her. And now her children are like, they're all abroad, they're all well settled overseas. And of course, she's bought them up, she's run the house, she's done everything to the best of her abilities. And now they are turning around and tell her that you can't do anything. So she was asking me, do you think I can learn Reiki? Do you think I can learn tarot? I said, of course you can. Why can't you? So she said, I've just enrolled in a music class, but I don't think I can do. Of course you can do. But you have to start from where, not carry those thoughts from the past, and also not go into anything of this. This is the universe telling you that, come on, do something which you will enjoy. And don't take it as a revenge to prove to those people that, yes, I can also do something. So your whole approach has to come from a space of just being that I'm going to do this and I'm going to enjoy this. And these things that have been thrown at you, which are hurting you, are only there to push you into doing something new, not to prove yourself to them that even if you're not well educated, you can still be good at, say, music or Reiki or something. That's not the approach with which you should carry yourself into that. Isn't it? Yes, Srishti? Tanvi, whoever raised their hand.
Yeah, Auntie. So I just wanted to add like a few things to it that personally after that day, what I realized was that there is a certain with every whatever a person is going through, a pain or something that they are unable to let go. Personally, what I felt that day was there was a certain kind of ego in me that was residing me, that I have to prove myself right to myself only. So with every that particular thought coming up again and again, I probably thought that I should prove myself that I am right rather than proving myself right to other person. So whenever that ego like just hit me, I thought that I have to prove it right, and then it became difficult for me to let go. But when realizing it, that while coming into awareness that it isn't got to do with someone else, it's just got to do with me. If I'm destroying my peace of mind only by proving myself right, I think I am hitting myself rock bottom only then. So it's better just to be with peace with it. I don't know what's going to happen in future or not. It's happened in the past, but not with me, but with someone else. So it's better just to withdraw from that thought and just be in that present mode of whatever you are in.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, actually, as you speak and as I've been speaking, I feel that I hope you're not feeling that this is just going in a very diverse kind of a way. You don't know from where you have to, which end to really catch. So I'm just going to put it all together. I'm just going to put it all together that when we talk about letting go, when we talk about um, things which are troubling me, which I'm wanting to get over and step over and grow ahead in my life, but those memories from the past or those issues, that those patterns also, if I may say, like one of you just mentioned that we respond in a particular way, those patterns that come up and again make me go back, or make me slip back into those old ways of being. Once we come into a space of awareness that I am either in the past or the future, and I don't need to engage in thoughts of the past or the future, and I allow myself, either by giving a pause, either by connecting to my breath, and I come into that space knowing that this particular issue is not really serving me. And I don't want to carry that, it's like carrying your trash all around with you, and it's smelling everywhere. It's rotting everywhere. It's creating an environment where it's just not healthy. And you know how harmful these thoughts are, or how harmful carrying this stuff in your head is. All our diseases that come up are only because of these thoughts in different ways. Because this stuff either leads to some kind of resentment, some kind of sadness, grief, hurt. And all this is the cause of many of the lifestyle diseases that we're going through nowadays. Cancer being the biggest. Because when we carry this resentment with us, it develops as an extra growth in the body. And this is very well explained in the Body Mind Connect, and we understand it very well with our Reiki practice. So why do we want to carry something and invite, negativity in form of, sooner or later it will manifest in your body, isn't it? Where will it go? Sometimes it manifests as pains in the body. There could be pain in the knees. There could be pain in the back, shoulders. And then that is something that is perceptible. We can feel that. But there is so much more that is inside, which we don't even know. We're not even aware of what is going on in our body. And today specifically, actually, I wanted to move on from this general topic of letting go to saying that how it is harming us. It creates mental disturbance. It creates insomnia. It creates even things like acidity, because we are not in acceptance of what is happening in my life. We cannot digest what is happening in our life. We keep sort of resurfacing those pain bodies, and then they develop or create different growth issues in our body, which manifests as physical illness. Yes, Rajesh?
Sujata, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Sometimes in life, there could be people that are unable to let go, and at that point in time they may be seeking like external help. Now, which of our practices would be useful uh, for these people at that point in time
So meaning
of
that
letting go
those
past specific activities or practices would be useful?
So actually we can use anything because we have to first come into a space of presence ourselves or help them to come
So
into.
I am speaking about a third person right now.
Okay.
So I know that that person is trying but is unable to. Right
Mhm.
now, several practices have been tried and used, and I'll speak with you separately about this person. Now, what specific practice do you think is most useful?
Well, I can't really say what would be most useful. I would say that definitely something like tapping is could help to release the trauma of that situation or the event. So that's very quick and effective, where we can instantly see the shift in the person's energy. And also, it is one of the easiest ways to shift the energy versus doing Reiki or the other healing practices which can come in there. Also, if the person himself or herself is not able to really let go of that and is aware of it, then something like SRT, where we can sit across the table and identify the patterns that are bringing about that discomfort, or even without the person's presence, we can do a clearing to clear off the pattern and then guide the person into something like, whatever affirmations, tapping. So any
What
of
is
them.
Sujata?
SRT is that pendulum clearing that I did for you once. You remember your space clearing I did? I don't think I did for you.
It can be done.
Energies, where we clear the negative energies around you, which are stopping you from moving ahead, or patterns from the past. I'll share the link with you after the call, after
Sure,
this
it
talk.
can be.
It's always done remotely.
I see. Lovely. So yeah, I got my answer. I'll connect with you separately. Thank you.
Thanks, Rajesh. Yeah.
For this, I have always been using cutting cords. Somehow, cutting cords has been very, very helpful. So I think each one has their own thing. And then otherwise, I go to Ho'oponopono prayer for small,
See, in
small.
SRT, when I do SRT, Vinita, when we clear that pattern, then cutting cords and Ho'oponopono are a part of that. They're usually a part of the follow-up of SRT. But yes, you're absolutely right. And I think everybody here on this call is very well aware of the cutting cords. And I always say that the Ho'oponopono is the best forgiveness prayer that we can do. And actually, what I wanted to also say today, and I thought about it in the morning, is that the forgiveness that we are doing is not about forgiving the other person. Just drop that need to forgive the other person or the people involved in the whole situation. Just drop it for now. Don't think that I have to forgive him or her, or I have to forgive my boss or the situation. Just come into a space of saying that I take full and complete responsibility for this situation. And of course, instantly the ego will pop up. But you have to believe that you are somewhere attracting this thought and this situation. And I'm not blaming you. You don't have to get into a guilt trip, but you have to understand that there is a part of you which is attracting this situation, or at least holding on to the situation now. Maybe it's a subconscious or an unconscious part of you. Absolutely fair. But if nobody else is taking the responsibility, just for your own freedom, just for your own liberty, just when you are honestly saying to yourself, I want to let go of this, say, I take full and complete responsibility for this issue, for this resentment, for this anger, whatever it is that it is creating in you, whatever it is that you're not able to let go of. I take full and complete responsibility for this. In the this, say that. And then the second line of this prayer says, please erase all programs and records from my memory that is causing this to happen. So any programs, any records that are there in my memory, I'm asking them to be erased. And then I chant those 4 statements, the 4 extremely, extremely powerful statements, which say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. Why are you saying sorry? I'm repeating this, and those of you who've heard it before, just bear with me. Why am I saying I'm sorry? Am I blaming myself? No, I'm not blaming myself. I'm just saying sorry because there is this negativity that exists in the universe And I am a part of this universe. Out of this huge, big universe, I am affected by this negativity at this time. So what would you say if somebody is going through something low or something negative happens in their life? I'm sorry that this is happening. So I say, I'm sorry. When I say I'm sorry, in a way, I'm acknowledging that I don't need to own this anymore. And then I say, please forgive me. The moment I say, please forgive me, and again, my ego could pop up and say, I'm not responsible for this. But it is not this small person, Sujata or Rachna or Ruhi, who's saying this sorry, or please forgive me. It is a bigger part where you, me, she, they, we are all one. Right? So I say, please forgive me, because whatever has caused this in my life today, and everybody will have different reasons. I always quote this. Everybody will have different reasons. You come to me and you say, why is this happening in my life? I'll, do the clearing with the pendulum and say, oh, this person was this in the past life, or you have a self-punishment program, or you had some trauma that needs to be cleared. And I'm absolutely right in my way. You go to a therapist, she'll say that, something happened in your past and this is a result of that. You go to a lawyer, they'll say something else. You go to a doctor, they'll say something else. You go to an astrologer, he'll say your planetary stars are not in alignment or something. Everybody will have different reasons for the issue happening in your life. So do you want to get caught in wanting to understand the reason and get caught there? Or all your life try to, use the remedies given by the doctor, the astrologer, the therapist, the healer? You will just keep going on. It's like a bottomless pit, because there's no end to those things. So rather than wanting to know why is it happening, I would say, join your hands and say that God, universe, whatever has caused this in my life, this suffering, this inability to let go, whatever has caused this, my life, my past life, my karmas, parents' karmas, husband's karmas, wife's karmas, child's karmas, I don't know. Whatever has caused this, I seek forgiveness for it, because I want to be free from it. And then you say, I love you, because we bring in that vibration of love. We bring in the vibration of, love is the greatest healing energy. Anything can be healed with love. And in the end, thank you, because appreciation and gratitude are the highest vibrations that we feel in the physical body. Any of you who's not aware of this prayer, please write to me, write to Srishti, Tanvi, Vinita, anybody, and I'll send you this prayer, which is just one of the simplest ways of letting go. So say, I take responsibility for this. And whom are you saying this to? You're saying it to the divine. You're saying it to the universe. You're saying it to God. So you can be as honest as you want about it. And believe me, if you do this prayer with sincerity, within a day or two, you will start to see your energy shifting around the issue. And there's so many.
I can vouch for it.
Yeah, I was just going to say that there's so many here who can vouch for it. I saw Richa also writing something. So I know that this is something which can shift your life. And as simple as that, just a prayer, which will not take you more than, say, 2 to 3 minutes, and just make this a chant. And like Srishti said in the beginning, that do I have to do a chant or a mantra? At any time, if you want to do a chant or a mantra, use this mantra, use this chant. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. Thank you, Pooja, for vouching for it. It will shift your energy totally. But first, remember the step that I mentioned today, that be honest to yourself that I really want to be out of this. I want to free myself out of it. Don't cheat yourself there. And next time when that issue pops up or that wound is scratched, be aware that I'm not going to be, the pain will not arise, because it's just a scratch. It's just a scar now and nothing can touch it. Yes, Rima, please share what you wanted to share.
Hello. Yeah, I can so relate to everything, and while I'm listening to this, I'm able to identify my causes. So
I'm
later
hearing from you every morning. There's still something, right? But then there's also the brighter side, that you're letting the rays come in, isn't it?
yes.
Not
And I think you answered everything, like we go to the doctors, we go to the astrologers, everything. Though this and just question that came to my mind, maybe, it's the conditioning. My family never believed in all those things, but I don't know, maybe off late I was having issues with my health, and I consulted an astrologer. Like, there's so many, modalities available, but at times we really don't know what is right or what is safe or what is genuine. That's also another thing which I've experienced, because out of challenges in my life, I also wanted to, read about tarot, practice Reiki, though it was like a basic thing. But, and, like, what I figured out was, like, a lot of times people have so many masks nowadays, and you don't even come to know about people's intentions. Maybe we are not the ones hurting other people, but we need to shield ourselves. So, I mean, in conversation in this session today, that is what I've realized, all these things about myself. And I'll connect with you on the personal window and ask for all these things. But I am a little slow with the prayers that you've given me. I don't know, at times, or maybe I think I needed this push today, that I be more focused and bring in those healing and be, just free from all these things. At least the suffering can, that was the question that since last evening was there on my mind. How to, get over with this suffering. Ultimately, it's we who are suffering, nobody else. And if we are happy, we radiate that to other people also. But yes, somebody, I think, is the chosen one now. I mean, whatever we read, intellectually, there's so much of stuff available, but now I can, understand and connect the dots why it is happening like that. So thank you so much for this session, and actually pushing me for it today. Otherwise, I think I would have missed it.
Yeah, and the thing that you just mentioned is that I'm going slow, I'm not doing my prayers to, or that the fact that we visit different people or we visit an astrologer, we all do it. I mean, all of us do it, but don't take anything so literally. Respect it for a message that you might need from that interaction. And so for everything in your life, there's nothing about being slow or fast. That's all relative to you. You are letting go at the pace that you are ready to. Now you realize that it's just suffering and I'm holding on to it. I don't want to suffer. And I'm always blaming the situation or the finger, putting the finger outside, that I'm blaming you or, them or things around that are making me suffer. But that's not true. I'm the
Yes.
one who makes the choice whether I want to, open my door and allow all the negativity to come in, or can I just sit comfortably and not open the door and be in my present space?
Yeah.
That key is in your hands.
I think finally we are understanding that that key is there and it is in my hands. Initially, we didn't even know that, we can
Exactly.
actually have a barrier or like say, okay, don't come in. Finally, that realization has come in.
And that's actually all you need.
Yes.
Thank you, Rima. Yes, Shalini.
Hi, Sujata. It's Kyra this side. My mom and I are
Hi,
using the
Kyra.
same
Okay,
device today.
okay, good. I'm happy
So
you're here.
regarding the discussion that you were just having a minute back, something happened yesterday. So because there was something that I felt I needed to let go of to kind of start rebuilding my life and feel more confident about myself. I had put away all the physical reminders that I had, and completely cut off contact from this person. And they still tried to reach out yesterday, so I saw it in my call log that I got a few missed calls. And even though I didn't call back, I didn't go back to that, but the same feeling of anxiety that I used to feel in the presence of that person, that all started flooding back in. I didn't really try to ignore it because, like you'd said last session, that just let yourself, allow yourself to feel it. And that was what my mother reminded me to do as well, that feel it and get over with it. But that anxiety really puts you in a low state of life, right? So even though technically I did not talk to that person, nothing happened, there was no interaction, but the mere idea that they were trying to be present in my life again caused so much turmoil in my emotional state. So the key that you were saying that we hold, how do we really use that key? How do I stop myself from letting myself flow away in that?
So you're not allowing yourself to flow. It just happens, isn't it? It's a default response because that whole, that situation has happened before, and it's not left a pleasant memory in your energy system. There is an imprint in your energy system which gets triggered when you hear something about them, or you see that they're trying to reach out. The fear comes up, and that's not a very pleasant thing that comes up. And I wouldn't even say it's fear, but it's just that you are making an effort to move beyond something, and that thing is going on knocking at your door again and again. But I think that
So, I'm sorry for interrupting. It's just that, like you said, that there is this imprint in our memory that the same negative emotions that we used to feel start coming back because we are so used to it. So, this person has kind of like become a symbol for me that whenever they are present in my life, things start going wrong. And I'm not really at peace with myself. So, whenever they try to come back, it all floods back in.
yeah, so you have made that person a symbol, isn't it? That person has become like a symbol. Who's given that person the symbol and the badge to put on your energy body? You have given it, isn't it? Throw it away right away. Get your power back. Say this, a person's energy can do nothing to me. So what if I see that person's name flashing on my phone or see in my call logs? It's okay. They are doing what they are doing. That is their karma. Don't get involved in that. Just from your heart, and try doing this. We do this in our gratitude group. Just send blessings to that person. Just say, bless you wherever you are. And I'm free from this person's. Even if a part of you is feeling hesitant in saying it, just say, I bless you where you are. And I am free from your energy. Nothing can disrupt my energy. And the more you keep affirming that, you will see that. But a part of you, pardon me, and don't take this personally, Kaira, a part of you still has some energy, emotional energy invested there. I'm not saying you're wanting to invest it there, but there is a little emotional energy that is still invested there. No harm. The fact that you get triggered means that there is something that you may or may not be aware of, but there is definitely some investment of energy there. And that's something which you're not aware of and you're struggling to release it. So just face it up, just be in that energy that, okay, that creates a sensation, it creates a palpitation, it creates a churning in my stomach. Just be with it, just breathe into it. And before you know it, you'll release it. It cannot have power over you. Just look off that response at that time is a sensation in your body, right?
Yes.
Like a heaviness in your head or in your chest or in your stomach, or your body will suddenly feel tight, or a tremor.
Yes.
Observe that sensation, breathe into that sensation, and before you know, that sensation will also disappear. So
Okay.
don't attach that situation to the story. Don't attach that sensation to the story. Oh my God, it's making me feel terrible. So what is terrible? Terrible is just like a vibration which is not in alignment. So just breathe, feel that terrible feeling. It's okay. It's a feeling inside you. Why are you only justified in feeling happy and joyous and grateful? Why aren't you just okay to feel terrible? Right now, I'm feeling terrible. Acknowledge it. Don't try to push it away. That's
Right.
exactly what mom told you, that face it up front. Feel that terrible feeling because it's an unpleasant situation, which everybody has. If we start writing them down, everybody has unpleasant situations. And when we take our memory there, it will create a terrible feeling in us. Feel it fully, breathe into it, connect to the sensation. Your energy will totally shift from the whole thing to your breath, and your breath will heal you. Every time you cannot be going into some modality or something. Sometimes we are not able to respond in that way. We forget that we can tap it out, isn't it? We forget that we have to say the Ho'oponopono prayer. We forget
Yes.
at the moment to cut cords with that person. So just come to your breath and your body. I feel if we have our connection to our breath, we need nothing else. You may say, I didn't have my bells, I didn't have the music, I didn't have my Ho'oponopono prayer, I forgot the words, something, but stop. You have your breath with you all the time. So come to your breath, breathe with awareness. Forget about the story or the situation. Come to your breath will ease out, and that's your anchor.
Okay.
Okay, come to your breath, breathe with awareness. It will dissolve the situation. I can assure you, it will dissolve the sensation. And every time, even a thought comes, and you don't even have, say, the call on your call logs, whenever you're feeling even a thought of anything, even if like you're feeling You are giving your exams right now. Suddenly an anxiety comes up. Oh, I haven't read. The anxiety will go away. It's only a thought that is creating the anxiety. It could be an examination. It could be a past phone call. It could be a past relationship. It could be a past bad experience with a teacher, with a friend, with anybody. So whatever it is, leave the story, come to your breath, breathe, and it will get released. And you'll see that slowly, that vibration or imprint will not have power over you, because it's not getting its due. It's only getting the breath, which is just so powerful that it will dissolve away the sensation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here, and share with us your experience if anything like that comes up.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you. So remember, just come back to your breath, your biggest anchor, your biggest tool, your biggest modality, whatever it is that you would like to call it.
I think the technique of just breathing right itself, which you have taught, I think it is so powerful. I think all this while we were not breathing it right. Only when we came in, as per your understanding, how to breathe right also matters a lot. It changes, it shifts completely.
Yeah, when you meditate, you'll see that how your breath slows down, how your breath becomes silent. What happens when you're anxious? You feel that you're breathing so fast, isn't it? When you're angry, when you're aggressive, it's like your breath is so short. And in fact, you can barely breathe. But when you just center yourself and you breathe right up to your navel, or you expand your chest and you breathe, that whole time that is just bringing in more energy, more prana to deal with whatever you're dealing with. If we just look at it literally at the face of it. So always, like, this thing that I learned from listening to Eckhart Tolle, 3 breaths of awareness. Just breathe every minute, every hour, every 2 hours, before you answer a phone call, before you're going into anything, just pause, take 3 breaths of awareness. The moment you shift your awareness from here to here, all this chatter loses its power. Yeah, so remember this, and
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you so much. So yeah, be aware of your breath, hang on to your breath, and breathe with awareness. Give it its due. This breath is something that has been with us, and in fact, it's our biggest support. Everything else might leave us, but the breath will always be with us from the time we are conceived till the time we die. So just honor this breath, just be in gratitude to this breath. Thank you. Take a nice deep breath, and with gratitude, let's close this session. Thank you so much.